can't get enough of you. Yeah. Ain't no such thing as having too much of you. Yeah. Them upset cause they can't with you. Yeah. You read those vows and now you stuck with me and I'm stuck with you. You can call on me, I'm your bugaboo. Wanna be your heat, clear hustable. Trying to put you to sleep while I'm...
Hey y'all. Okay. So I'm going to be showing y'all how I turn some of my favorite strips into clusters so that I can do them as individuals, but they're going to be clusters. So this is going to be the bottom layer of my lashes. You can see these little spaces in between. You just need some scissors. And look at these spaces. You're going to cut right in between those two spaces. So 1 and 2. I'm going to cut right between there. And that's going to start the cluster. And I'm going to do that all the way across for that layer of lashes. So it's that lash strip you see in my hand and the other one that matches it. I'm going to be cutting them up that size right in between these two sections. And then I'm going to line them up like I would line up like how they're already styled. That's how you're going to line them up. See, this is how it looks. I haven't done the other side yet, but you can see the indents, the spaces. Now you see the bottom looks a little bit thicker than the top row. See the bottom and the top row? Those are going to go on the top layer, the top row of my lashes. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to show y'all what I mean by the top row and the bottom row. But first, you want to make sure that you get you some scissors and you cut your lashes up, and you get you some bonding and sealing for lash clusters. You can get this from Amazon. You can get it from Shein. I got mine from Shein. And you just look for lash glue for clusters, and that's what should pop up. This comes out more like a mascara, so that's how we're going to apply it as a mascara. You want to do your both left and right lashes, and you don't have to worry about it drying up or anything. It stays sticky until you apply the other side, which is the sealer. So this is just me putting it on. I have really thin lashes, so if you have thin lashes like me, you're going to notice you might have to apply a couple of layers because you want it to stick. So make sure you have some scissors, some tweezers, the lash bonding glue, a little mirror so you can see, and that's all you're going to need. You want to apply it, and then we're going to get to the part where you stick them on. So here you can kind of see it showing up on my lashes, but at the same time you kind of can't, but you kind of can. So I'm putting an extra layer on it. You can kind of see my lashes, but this is how I do. I just switch sides. It'll become a little stiffer as you go, but it won't necessarily become dry or unsticky. So yeah. So this is the part where I'm going to be putting my clusters on. So I'm going to be starting with the last cluster at the end, the same cluster I would have cut first. I'm going to apply that one first at the end of my lash. See it? You want to put it underneath your lash. See how it just sticks. And I'm going to keep grabbing them and putting them underneath. Every 2 lashes, I'm going to put one on the top layer. See, now this will be the second lash. See that? How thin it still is? That's because of the type of lash clusters I'm using. And now I'm going to grab one from the bottom. After 2, I'm going to put one on top. So while where my finger is pointing, I'm going to grab one from the bottom, which is going to be like thicker than the other ones, a little thicker. So watch how I put that on top. See how I'm going over lashes instead of under. That's how you want to do it. And then squeeze them together like that. And see how it becomes thicker. I'm going to be doing this all over for both sides of my lash. So that's what I meant by the top row and the bottom row. cluster on top. This is the one, starting over. One cluster. We're about to apply the second cluster. This is the second one. Two. Okay, now we're gonna pick up one from the bottom row. The row at the bottom, and then we're gonna put that on top. Now if you want to, you can just put all the bottom row on and then apply the top one. Me personally, I find it easier to do it after every 2 lashes. But whatever works for you, works for you. Here I pinched it with my finger because it's harder. As more lashes get on the lash, as you put more lashes on, it's harder to squeeze them together with the tweezer. So you might have to do it with your fingers. Whoops. Push that back up. Told you my lashes are thin, so it can be a little bit more tedious when you have thinner lashes because you have to have a lot, like a nice amount of the lash adhesive. See? It's coming together. Let's keep going. Just keep going. Don't get discouraged. See, I'm gonna have to add a little bit more glue because I want it to stick. Never mind the dogs barking, y'all. They just like being loud. You might have to grab a thicker cluster from the bottom row for the ends, the corners of your eyelashes, like I'm doing right here, because my lid, like I said, my lashes are thin. So the thicker it is, the more surface area it's gonna cover. But the thinner it is, the more durable the lashes are gonna be. See? So I'm making progress. It can take a little longer than just throwing some strips on, but they also last longer. So I promise you it's gonna be worth it. So I know the lighting is terrible. I'm gonna work on getting better light, so bear with me. The light bouncing off of the mirror to do this, to show y'all. See? Now this is just how mine look because they are the strips that they are. Now you can choose whatever strips that you want to use. I will say the thicker the strip, the less likely it'll be that you'll have to use 2 different layers. I'm using 2 different layers because to me it makes it last longer. Plus the lashes that I chose were on the thinner side, so just applying 1 row wouldn't have gave me the full look that I'm trying to achieve. So yeah guys, that's the first one. You see I'm applying the top part to seal those 2 together that I just applied. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Look, you'll notice that you might have extra lashes left over from, you know, both sides, depending on how like wide your eyelids are. I mean, my eyelids aren't really that wide, so I have lashes left over. You may or may not. It's all about how small you cut them and how you're applying them. So yeah, this is how that one looks. Now, I'm going to start the other side. Okay, so now I'm just putting some extra glue on my other side just to make sure that they're going to stick. I know my lighting is terrible, guys. I'm working on it. As you can see, I only have like one lash cluster left for the other side. I'm just showing you guys that I'm about to start on the other side. So there you saw me, the lash cluster on. I'm trying to show y'all the rest of the lashes that I'm using in the order, but for some reason iMovie cuts out parts of the video. If anybody knows how to fix that feature in iMovie, let me know. But for the most part, the mirror is going to be showing y'all where I'm at. On this side, I kind of started with the corner of the eye, which like I think it's probably better to start with the inner corner of the eye instead of the outer corner, because you'll have probably a more symmetrical to what it would look like when you're doing your strips type of look, because I didn't notice it yet. And on the other side, I'm gonna end up having to add more lashes because it doesn't go all the way into the corner like the other side does, or the side that I'm working on does. So I'm just working my way down. I'm pretty much at the end of my eyelash, and then on this side I decided to apply all of the first row, and then I'm gonna apply the top part later on. So I did this side completely different from the other side, just to show you guys, you know, the difference, I guess. So this is how it's looking. Cut out right for where you placing the eyelash. So definitely start with the inner corner first. I noticed on the other side, again, you probably noticing it every time I shine the light from the mirror, but the other side is gonna end up needing more lashes. I guess you don't really end up with extras unless you actually cut off part of your strips before you use them anyway. So didn't end up with extra. This is just, I had a couple lashes left over, so I'm going to end up applying them when I'm done with the top layer of this side of the set. So I'm still fixing on that side. This is me saying my mom looks nice, my second mom. She always gets dressed up before she leaves, and she was asking me how she looked. But I'm still working on this side. I know y'all probably noticing the difference between the thickness of this right side versus the left side, or it's really the left side versus the right side. But yeah, so I'm gonna just let y'all watch. You can also tell what part you're on as far as the placement of the lash by how thick or thin it looks. See, I'm placing it there. You can go back and see how you could tell that I needed to place the lash right there. But alright guys, I'm gonna let you guys just watch and listen to the tunes. At that moment I knew I needed to fix that. Going to attempt to make this side look better and add the lashes that's needed. And guys, this isn't my best set, but this is just to show you guys how I do my eyelashes, how I turn my strips into lashes. I cut them up into clusters. I do 2 rows of them, depending on how thick or thin they are. But like I said, I have thin lashes, so I like to do 2 layers, I mean. So there's the finished product. It goes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you learned something. Drop a comment or a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.
You notice, you can tell when there's an energy vampire that is in the